I am Jim Himes, and I'm running against Chris Shays, and I'm so enthusiastic and so pleased with what we've been able to do in the last quarter or so that this campaign has been running. Well, Chris Shays is a hard target. There's no doubt about it. He has, for 20 years or so, disposed of all comers. But he is going down in a year and a half, and he's going down... for two reasons. He's going down because 5 years ago, Chris Shays sold his soul. And he sold his soul for a war that we now know has resulted in rapidly coming on 4,000 American deaths, $500 billion of wasted money, and the trading of our reputation and the image that we had as a country abroad for what? For the situation that we are in today. And I'll tell you, Chris Shays has been doing this for 5 years, and it's hard to hold him responsible necessarily for the first vote he made in favor of the war. A lot of people made that mistake, including a lot of Democrats. But the fact is that over the last 5 years, as we have seen, what a disaster that has been. Most sentient, thinking politicians, most of whom, by the way, are Democrats, have realized that as the hole has gotten deeper, the thing to do is to stop digging. Chris Shays... as the hole rose and as he sunk deeper in this hole, has said, get me a bigger shovel. That is not what our leadership should be doing. Now, one thing about Chris Shays, he does have a challenger now, and just as Ned said, you are going to see him more. And he did it 2 weeks ago. He called for a timeline in the distant future after the next election. Don't believe him. We have seen this movie before. In August of 2006, he called for a timeline, and since then, 3 times has voted against timelines for a withdrawal from the war. And we need to make sure that as he begins to do this electoral maneuver, that people understand exactly what he is doing, because he's not unclever about the way he approaches this. Part of my job is to hold Chris Shays accountable for what he has done with respect to the war and, more broadly speaking, our international perception. But I'll tell you what, and I'll close briefly on this. What I get really excited about is what we're going to turn our attention to when we get beyond the moment of this war. People say that we have not been asked to sacrifice in this war, and people say this is the first time that has been true, and that is partly true, but it also is not true in some very important respects. We have sacrificed the chance to do what we need to do as a country to solve some very serious problems in this country. We have sacrificed 5 years of attention and effort and resources that needed to be devoted to fixing our healthcare system, which is drowning our companies and which is leaving 47 million Americans without adequate coverage. We have sacrificed the chance to really address education. This country will be great economically in the future, and is great economically now because people are thinking and innovating and they're educated. And our educational system is going to be at the heart of our national prosperity in the generation to come. And we haven't thought about that. We're still not graduating 50% of the people who go into the school system in Bridgeport. We have sacrificed the opportunity to get serious about an energy policy which isn't written by energy companies, but that understands that energy policy is about national security, and that it's about what this planet looks like in the next generation. We have sacrificed an awful lot for this war, and it is time to move beyond that and turn our attention to the great things that we need to start doing. So folks, I've got a really, really tough race ahead of me. I need your help. At the end of the day, this race will not be won by me. It will be won because everybody here and elsewhere decides that it is time for a new congressman. So please, sign up on my campaign, get behind us. We are going to start a wave which is going to put some real leadership in Washington to address the great and challenging things that this country needs to address. Thank you very much.